Janice.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kenny.
Today we'll be talking about characteristics of Airbnb usage in cities in Pacific Northwest. So, what is Airbnb and why do we want to analyze its listing data? Airbnb is an online service that allows people to become hosts and allow travelers to use their spaces. Since Airbnb is such a unique model compared to hotels with its own review system, we are interested in users' biases when deciding on Airbnb. We'll be looking at the cities of Seattle and Portland specifically. Our first question asks what features of Airbnbs are shared by Seattle and Portland. We'll specifically be looking at property type and room type. We're also asking what is the correlation between an Airbnb's rating and its location, demographics, and listing information. Finally, we want to know the growth trend of Airbnbs in Seattle and Portland, or how many Airbnb host profiles are created per year.
For our methodology, we first download the datasets for both Airbnb cities of Seattle and Portland and using the US Census Bureau. We merged and filtered the datasets, and then we found the most common features and grouped and counted them. We also ran a machine learning model with plotting regression lines for finding correlations. And finally, we plotted the ratings by zip code and then grouped them to find trends. And so for our results, for common features, you can see here that it's very similar between Seattle and Portland. The two most common types of places in Seattle and Portland are apartments and houses, and for percentages, they are pretty much the same. As for correlations, we saw that there was no correlation between a user's sex or race, age distribution, or price in comparison to the review scores.
So after plotting and analyzing the zip code area that's colored by average Airbnb rating score, we observed that the average ratings for each area are relatively high. We see that the downtown areas, though, have slightly lower reviewer scores, which might be due to the louder, more touristy culture. And we also notice that Portland generally has lighter colors, which signifies higher ratings. However, since these differences are so slight, we can't make a definite conclusion about this. So lastly, we plotted the number of Airbnb profile creations between 2008 and 2019, and we observed similar trends for both Seattle and Portland. There's an exponential growth rate from 2008 to 2013 or 15, and then it declines afterwards. The decline in Seattle is an exponential decay rate, while Portland has a more linear decay rate. And this decline might suggest that less people consider being an Airbnb host over the years, or that the Airbnb host market is just too saturated for these two cities. So after viewing and analyzing these results, there are a few prospects that could lead us to continue this project. So firstly, we could analyze cities other than Seattle and Portland to see if there are any trends that occur in different regions, countries, or around the globe. And we can also test variables other than the ones that we did test to see if we can build a more accurate machine learning model to predict review scores. And then finally, we can look specifically into how Airbnb host profile creation rates change by month to see if there are certain times in the year that increase or decrease that rate. Thank you.